Hey y'all, today I'm going to be doing my June garden tour. We're getting ready to go out of town, and so I wanted to get this done before I left town just so that I had it ready to go for you all. As always, make sure you hit that subscribe button and that notification bell so you know when my latest videos are up, and make sure you drop me a comment below. Do you love a long garden tour or do you like a short garden tour? Okay, I'm in the back corner of the backyard. I just wanted to come back here to give you guys a little bit of perspective. These are the planters all along the back, and you can see the willow tree, and then all my new raised bed gardens. And then you can see the porch, which is super messy because I have so many projects going on right now. Garden to the left, a garden to the right. And then this back here in this back corner, over here is going to be the shade garden that I've been planning and hopefully will begin installing in July. So let's start with the planters at the very back. We'll just start over here. I do have my Japanese snowball viburnum that I've been growing from bare root, is doing really well over here. All the planters are filling in really nicely. Have a lot of delphinium coming up over here. This is all the Magic Fountains delphinium. It comes in a wide variety of colors, absolutely stunning. You can see that all the purple lantana that I planted, I guess 4 or 5 weeks ago, is starting to grow and make its way over the edge. Lots of cucumbers coming about. I've actually harvested tons and tons. So tons of those going up and over. You can see these over here. This one's really abundant. Forget what this variety is. Let me see. It is cucumber, the Boston pickling cucumber. This is, I think, cilantro. But yeah, you can see that the lantana is starting to expand and come over the side, which is great. These are the sunflowers that I planted recently, and then also these are the new bushes. This is a purple beautyberry that I just installed over here. The cranberry beans are doing wonderfully over here. I really need to start harvesting. In fact, some of them have already dried out. So I need to start harvesting all those. Oh, I need to be picking them way more often. I need to get over and get that taken care of. But those are going really nicely. Hypericums are really looking good too. Look at the beautiful color on them. Really nice. Happy with those. Having some iron issues with them. I'll be adding bone meal to that. These are all dahlias coming back from last year. The variety, I don't have a variety over there, so we won't know until it opens, but they're doing beautifully. Check out all of these celosia. These are volunteer celosia, and I have a bunch of sunflowers that I planted under here that'll be coming up. But the volunteer celosia is gorgeous. Got some little beetles in here. I don't think I can tell the color on them yet. Oh, this one's gonna be pink. That's fun. Let me see if I can tell the color on these. Nope, not yet. These are I have a new hydrangea right here, a little lime hydrangea right there. You can see my hyacinth bean going over the top, just looking pretty. Another new hydrangea called Twist and Shout. Over here, its blooms are really pretty. Let me show you. Very pretty, look at that. There's some more over here. Absolutely gorgeous. This guy gets a lot of shade over here. You can see the lantana is doing really well. I just need to start working its way up to train it over. This is a Pink Diamonds Bleeding Heart, a Dicentra. Right there, it's doing pretty well as well. This over here, I think, is actually a Strontia from bare root, but I'm going to keep an eye on it as it continues to grow. The willow tree is doing really good since I treated it for borers. So I've been keeping an eye on it. I haven't seen any kind of new activity on it, so we'll be keeping up with that and treating that each year. So let me come around the corner, looking back this direction. I recently did the video on successes and failures, so you could see some of the things that are going great in the new raised gardens and some of the things that weren't. I already have new seeds popping up that I just planted. These are zinnia. I believe these are the Queen Lime Blush. And of course I've got my carnations starting to come up really nicely. This guy has a little beetle in there. Really, really pretty. Smells really good over here. Absolutely beautiful in the raised beds. Have straw flower right there that's doing really well. I've already got some of the Cosmo seeds coming up, which is exciting. Marigolds, since I did the video on success and failure, they've all of a sudden become way more vibrant. So I'll keep an eye on this. Maybe these will all start making some progress. Dahlias aren't as far along as I would like, but you know, they're still growing, still looking good. It's about time to trim them back a little bit. Typically I like to top them out a little bit. So like right here, I would take off like this portion right here, and that would force it to give me 2 more. So anyway, we'll be looking at that, watching the dahlias. I will say I didn't really start getting dahlias until July and August last year. And I don't know if that's just my area or if I'm just starting them too late, but that's typically when I get them. I have been harvesting the Proven Winners Good Hearted tomatoes. You can see them all coming up beautifully right there. They have such a fun, unique shape, and they're super sweet, which is good. Ivy's Fairy Garden is just glorious. Look at that scaevola, y'all. Isn't that amazing? That's one plant. Absolutely stunning. It's doing beautiful. It's about time to pull out all the violas, change them up a little bit. But yeah, you can see our little fairy tucked in there. Over here, I'm getting ready to harvest the potatoes this week. And then now the oh my gosh, I'm drawing a total blank. Oh, purslane, there we go. All the purslane has started closing up for the evening. Its blooms open and close depending on if it's light out or dark out. So this is actually typically just covered with orange and yellow as well. That planter is looking glorious. Lots of the Pro Cut sunflowers coming up, and a lot of the Tithonia that I recently planted is coming along, as well as some amaranthus. It's looking really good. The heat is increasing here, and therefore my Lysianthus is really starting to finally take off. I have those that I grew from seed, and then I have some that I planted from plugs. Looking really nice. Wide variety of snapdragons all across here. They're looking really nice. I need to get in here and cut some back to allow for new growth. I'll be doing a lot of pruning before I leave on vacation so that the plants can kind of start a new round of blooms. Look at that, Madam Butterfly, gorgeous. This is a really pretty like lavender color coming up right there. Really nice. Let me come over here. The basil is taken off, looking glorious. Lots of the glass gems and the, oh, what is your name? I don't remember. I'll flash it up there. But this is like a striped corn. So super excited on how the corn is doing there. This bed is empty now except for 2 peonies that are gonna get transplanted. And this bed right here is gonna get taken all the way over here. It's gonna go right in that area, and this is gonna be the start of a shade garden, which I'm really excited about and I've been working on and planning. This whole area is kind of just like a pass through, and we have a hard time growing much of any grass just because of how much shade there is. So I'm really excited to get that started over there. Now this garden has tons of amaranthus in it. In fact, check out that guy. Isn't that glorious? Absolutely glorious. I believe this one's called Autumn Touch. Absolutely beautiful. Really happy. This all reseeded from last year. I do typically have some kind of insect or something that munches on these. I usually don't stress about it because, I mean, actually you can see, look at all those beetles munching over there, because it still gives me blooms. So, and I don't really grow amaranthus for the foliage anyway. So yeah, I'm cool with that at this point. Do have a lot of yellow calla lilies coming up. These are getting pretty tall. This bloom is about 3 feet in length, which is gorgeous. These are a little bit older blooms, but they're still really great for arrangements. I really need to do an arrangement with these calla lilies before I leave. A lot of the dianthus over here is taking a break, but it will give me a new burst of color soon. The nigella is all kind of at the end, and so the little pods are drying up. Let me see if I've got one that's ready to be kind of cracked open. Okay, so here's a dry pod. All right, you can crack it open like that. And inside it are all the nigella seeds. So I just take them and I just sprinkle them out into this garden so that hopefully I'll have more nigella next year. This actually this is Happy-Go-Lucky, I believe. This Happy-Go-Lucky rose is looking really, really pretty. Some more calla lilies over here. Do have this sedum coming up, which is gorgeous. I have a coral jade sedum by Proven Winners over here. And it's really, I planted it last fall. It's really not putting on much growth. So I'm thinking about pulling it up and moving it to the front so it gets more sun. That'll be another project. I really have a lot of transplanting I need to do. Have a lot more celosia coming up from last year, and I'm also going to be planting some additional celosia and some additional ornamental grass into this garden bed. Come this way and I can scan the whole porch for you guys. Everything is really doing well, surprisingly. All of the new roses that I planted have taken off. This is a climber called America. It's doing really well. Every time a bloom kind of withers away and is done, I trim it back to the 5th leaf right there, to the first set of leaves that have 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which has worked out really well. All of these over here are set up to drip. I've been harvesting a lot of the strawberries for the Buried Treasure strawberries. They've been doing really well. I don't think they're blooming as much right now. It might be due to the heat. This is the Besto Pesto Basil. It's been doing really good. I've been trying to keep it like wherever it's flowering, cutting that back. But I wish you could smell this. It smells glorious. Absolutely glorious. Love it. I did want to give you a peek back here of all the caladiums. If you remember all the caladium bulbs that I collected from Lowe's or Home Depot, I don't recall which one, but all the caladiums are coming up, looking really good. I'm going to get those planted up in a couple of projects before I head out. I did discover that my hydrangeas over here are suffering from a little bit of powdery mildew, so I've been treating them with a little bit of fungicide, so hopefully that'll help out some. I just treated them first of all this morning, so I'll have to keep up on that. I don't want to lose all those leaves or let it get too far out of control. But look how beautiful all of the impatiens are. They're just stunning. And then check out this hydrangea. Isn't it glorious? It's like pink, but purple striations in it. So beautiful. And this is one of those surprise ones that I got from Mother's Day last year. All the peppers are doing pretty good. I've got a lot of mini bell peppers coming up. You can see all those little guys, super cute. I've got some of the hot and heavy peppers from Proven Winners that are doing well. You can see a lot of peppers. These are all mini bell peppers coming up. I don't see a lot of jalapenos coming up yet, but we'll be watching for those. This is the Queen of Elegance Rose. It's just doing really, really well. Once again, every time a bloom is kind of at its end, I've been trimming them off, and then they've just been reblooming for me like crazy. These feel like velvet, y'all. Absolutely glorious. Love them. This is a section with the wall planter over here. Wall planter is doing okay. I ended up having a kink in my drip system and did not realize that it wasn't getting drip, and that went on for about 7 days. in 90+ degree heat with no water. So there's definitely some struggle. You can see some struggle on some of the pentas over there, or vincas, I take it back, some of the vincas. So we'll have to keep that. I might have to replenish this a little bit as the season goes on, but so far so good. I'm okay with it now. This is more amaranthus. This is all reseeded from last year, just to give you a size. Look how beautiful. I mean, absolutely glorious. And this gets munched on as well. And like I said, I don't really stress about it because it still gives me blooms. So I just let whatever this insect is munch on it and enjoy it. My guess is if I try to get rid of it off of this plant, it would just go somewhere else, would be my guess. But look how glorious the amaranthus is. I mean, this one over here in the right-hand corner is about 5 feet tall. Really, really nice. I do have a wide variety of things in here, including those are calla lilies. I do have some baptisia that's coming up, but it's a new baptisia that I planted last fall. So it's going to be a couple of years until it gives me blooms, but it is really starting to fill in the space. And I really love the delicate greenery. I look forward to harvesting that someday. Okay, so this is ageratum, which is a volunteer from last year, and it is coming back up beautifully. Over here, I've got a polar bear white zinnia. This is the first one, so it doesn't look as pretty. I'll be going through and I'll be trimming that down to here before I leave to get that off and allow more to start coming through. This is more of the white zinnia. It'll be really, really pretty. This is the Jump for Joy rose. It was struggling earlier on, and I went back and did a second really hard trim and gave it another round of fertilizer, and it's doing glorious now. So I'm very, very happy with it. I have a lot of scabiosa. These are Fire King scabiosa, so much that they're like falling over, y'all. Look at this. Oh, that's an older one. Let me get a newer one for you. I need to get in here and trim. I'm going to do probably a whole video on pruning, where I'm just going to prune everything really hard before I leave on vacation, so you guys can see what all I'm doing and the big pile of stuff I'll have afterwards. So I have the Fire King scabiosa, which is really pretty, and then I've also got Snow Maiden right here, which is stunning as well, and these are all volunteers from last year. Now back there on the right, see that right there? That is a Maximilian sunflower that I planted from bare root from Brex last year. And there's 3 of them back there. So I see 1, I see 2, and I can't quite see the 3rd, but I'm pretty sure it's up and looking really good. Look at this view with the sun. So my Bells of Ireland, this was my first year growing them. I did overwinter them. They have been fabulous. I love them so, so much. I love the sound. That sounds awesome. So I've just left them in place. They're all going to seed, but I do plan on pulling them out before I leave, because this space also has zinnias trying to come up as well. So I'm gonna go ahead and pull them and make room for zinnias. They are not cut and come again blooms. So once you cut a Bells of Ireland, it's done. It won't make any more. It only makes a certain amount of blooms, and you can still use this. Like, I can still use this for an arrangement. I'll just remove everything from below this on the stem, and I can still use it in a beautiful flower arrangement. I'm really thinking I'm going to go in and harvest a ton of this Ami, this Dara, and this is chocolate Dara. Absolutely beautiful. It comes in like lots of varieties and shades. Absolutely gorgeous. And I'm going to be harvesting a lot of that. Got a little guy on there, and I think I just want a big like vase of it. I think it would be so pretty. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be harvesting a bunch of it and then pulling out some of the plants, some of the Dara plants in here, just because I have plenty, and I want to go ahead and make room for more of the zinnias that are coming up underneath. So I think it's looking really good. I love the Dara. Now we've starting to get zinnias mixed in. This is the Purple Prince, which is usually my first one that comes up every season. I do have, these are some old cosmos. I need to go ahead and harvest them so that it will make more cosmos. But yeah, look how fun that is. The Dara are great. This is a Senorita Pink Zinnia, cactus variety zinnia that's coming up right there. It's looking good. All the phlox is pretty much done blooming. Still really pretty, interesting textures. But I'm probably gonna start trimming this back a little bit too, prune that pretty hard, and once again, making more room for hot weather blooms. Look at all my bullet allium, drumstick allium coming up. Like bees, they just love the allium. These are so fun. Drumstick allium. Yeah, I got all those bulbs from Brex this last year. So they look more like this when they're starting off. And then as they get older, the blooms kind of fluff out a little bit more like that. It's really, really pretty. I've enjoyed that. I need to get that into an arrangement too. Yeah, this area of the garden is wild. I love it. Absolutely love it. Okay, so that is the backyard garden tour for you guys right now. So let's head around to the front and show you guys what's going on up there. Okay, so I'm heading out the side garden. So this is the side garden. And as you recall, this was my big COVID project. There used to be nothing here, and I installed this garden down the side with the help of my husband and our friend Richard. And it's just been so fun. So let's look at some things that are going well and some things that aren't. This is a oak leaf hydrangea. It is definitely struggling with iron deficiencies. Treated it a couple of times. I'm thinking about just giving it a nice trim back so that it doesn't have to concentrate on so much. Right now, I know that that might take away blooms for next year, but I'm okay with that. I just want to make sure that, you know, I can get it to survive in this location will be the goal. So this actually gets a lot of shade. It doesn't get very much sun at all. Just the way the fence line is right here, it kind of cuts all the way across, and just this corner is shaded, which is fabulous. Next to it is a smoke bush that's in full sun, like literally right next to one another. I've already cut on this some. I cut on it really hard last year, and it has just come back absolutely beautiful. Very happy with how it's looking. Very happy with its growth, and I love its foliage. This is my yarrow patch over here, which is looking absolutely beautiful. Check out some of these blooms. Salmon apricot colors, some pale yellow peaches. Have lots of like the purpley magenta. This one is a little more the vintage. Over here it's a little more saturated, and then I even have white. So this is really starting to spread. Really happy with the look of all the yarrow together. This is also an area there's so many things growing right now, and I really need to come in and harvest, and I just haven't had the opportunity to. Now this next section is a section that I've been holding off on because I'm going to redo it, but I don't know what I want to do. And so I think, this rosemary right here is going to come out. I've got some Russian sage. Is that what I want to say? Over here. And it's growing beautifully. It's a perennial, and it's starting to spread in areas, that's why I'm really excited about that. I would love to have just a big patch of it here. The Asclepia is not my favorite. I don't know if I'm going to keep it or let it go. We'll have to see. And then I do have some Liatris coming up here. But yeah, this is an area, it's just kind of a hot mess. It needs to be redone. I just can't figure out what I need or what I want. So I really probably should just pull everything out and start fresh, but we'll see. We'll see how I feel in the moment. And then all of these sunflowers over here, this is a sunflower patch that reseeded itself from last year. So I allowed a lot of the sunflowers just to go to seed in place. Check out this, just to give you an idea on size. Isn't this glorious? So this is a mix of, I think, Autumn Beauty mixed with sunflowers plus chocolate cherry. Absolutely gorgeous. So super pretty. I still have tons of buds that are coming up. A lot of these are branching sunflowers, and a lot of these are single. So y'all know how I am about the branching ones. I love it. So you can see a branching one right there. It's going to give me an additional sunflower where each leaf is, and it's probably 6 feet tall already. Really, really pretty. I love a lot of these blooms. I love these dark blooms. I think they're so unique, so fun. Yeah, so if you haven't tried it before, allow some of your sunflowers to go to seed. I was very pleased with how they reseeded themselves here. Oh, look at this guy. So pretty. I love sunflowers. Oh, so fun. Okay, this area is an area of hardy annuals that I overwintered. This is a lot of status, which is great. I'm going to be going in and harvesting all of this status all the way down to the ground before I leave town. That's doing beautiful. My my foxglove back here is going to seed, so I'm very happy about that. I'm probably going to be reseeding some additional foxglove back here. I have a whole lot of China asters that are looking absolutely beautiful. They're doing really, really good. I have a lot more in bloom that are coming. Check out these purple. So pretty. I have some gladiolas back here that are going up. I believe this one is, I think it's Arabian Nights. It's a dark, like reddish black color. And then I have like this one. This one is more of a pink tone. So there's a mix of the two in there as well. This area has been fun. Everything here is experimental. Just trying some different things. This is cherry caramel phlox, by the way. This is fun for arrangements too. Okay, so last tour I took, I showed you my guara, and it was getting eaten down pretty quick by some pretty substantial caterpillars. Well, I decided to just leave them, and they just hung out and did their thing. They ate and ate and ate until they were gone, and now I just have all my guaras coming back beautifully. So I'm very happy with the look of it. I love the wild look of it. I love the pot that I kind of nestled back in there. I think that I'm going to do some type of topiaries there. I'm not sure yet. I'm still kind of taking my time, but I love how like the guar kind of like hugs it a little bit. All these purple flowers that are in bloom are balloon flowers. These are perennials, and they come back bigger and better every year. Absolutely gorgeous flowers. These are not cut flowers. I've never used them in any such way. So these are the bridal respirias over here. There's one on the other side of the Ruby Falls redbud. And remember, I hacked them back really hard after their spring bloom. And so they've already bounced back immediately, doing gorgeous. Absolutely beautiful. All the supertunias are out of control, gorgeous. In some areas, there's a 4 to 5 foot span of them, which is really beautiful. And you can see the Ruby Falls redbud is just, it's gorgeous. I love how it catches in the wind. Its backsides are kind of be different colors. So like it's purple with green veining, just so pretty. When it catches in the wind, it's just stunning. I absolutely love it. Love this tree. Focal point of the whole side of the garden. And here's the other spirea, and you can see they've bounced back beautifully, because I mean they were probably 2/3 of that size not long ago after I cut them. Now I have a lot of blank areas in here that are going to be getting filled up with ornamental grass. I have several varieties, including millet, frosted explosion, several different ones that are going to be worked into these areas, and they're going to be growing during the heat of the summer for cut flowers. This is some of my lambs over here, very fun and textural. These are my super duper Paradiso coneflowers, echinacea. Yeah, I need to start turning my labels against the ground so that the sun doesn't catch the marker. But I grew those 3 perennials from seed right there. They're doing really great, along with this pearl yarrow from Baker Creek, which is also a perennial, which is doing beautiful. And all of these over here, these are bunny tail, and I grew all of these from seed as well, and they're just very happy where they're at. Filling in really nicely, really beautifully. This is a pugster butterfly bush in purple. Beautiful, prolific. I let it bloom and bloom and bloom, and then I hack it all the way back to the ground, and it just comes back. I don't love its location. I don't think I put it in the best location, but it is what it is for right now, until I at some point decide to dig it up and move it. Like, I feel like that would look really good, like tucked in there, right? Like all that purple, like further back. I'm not sure, we'll see. And then also tucked behind here are some lily trees. This is my first time growing them. I just bought a variety pack for fun. These, like their first year, they bloom at about like 3 to 5 feet tall. Their second year, they get like 6 to 8 feet tall. And then their third year, they get 10 feet tall. And they are bulbs, so they come back over and over again. Here's some more. And I've got 5 of them tucked back in there, which will be really fun. The idea is that eventually they'll be really tall on this and there'll be a feature on this wall. This is all area right there that needs to be weeded. So over here, my lantana is coming back. I used to have 5 lantanas across the whole front yard, and over the years, one by one, things have died. So this is my last one. I did used to have one right there, but it didn't come back this year. So I'll have to put some replacement. Lantana is just such a fun flower, especially in the heat of the summer. It looks like we're finally starting to get some buds budding up on these dahlias. These dahlias all came back from last year. Right there. So they're really pretty. I'm excited to see how they all do. The penstemon is done blooming, but look how cool these kind of like pod-like things are. Aren't those glorious? Yeah, love the look of the penstemon. It had all these little white flowers on it. You can see where they all were. Very, very cool look, even after it's done blooming. This is the front section that I had been working on. And the mystery plant that everybody had been asking about has been confirmed as gomphrena. And it was really easy to tell once I saw a bud coming up. So I have this gomphrena. It was originally planted all the way on the other side of the Ruby Falls Redbud. And so I actually have a couple of seedlings over there that I think I'm going to move over into this front garden. But you can see where I've put in this spider flower, or Cleome is what people are telling me to pronounce it as. It's looking really pretty. All of the Suncredibles by Proven Winners are doing really, really well. This back part is kind of a hot mess because I actually ended up cutting back some of the Canterbury bells and then laying them on the ground to allow the seeds to just drop directly onto the ground. This also used to be my red crepe myrtle. I didn't like the tree, so I just cut it off at the base. I think I'm going to allow it to grow back as a bush, see if I like it better. If I don't, then I'm going to try to dig up the whole tree, which could be tough. Might end up being really, really tough. But coming this way, I have a lot of sedum that's doing beautiful right here up front, which is why I was thinking of moving that coral jade sedum up front. I think that might be really nice. I can maybe tuck it more towards the front of the landscape. This is an echinacea that I just put in, and so I think it might be really cool to put it right there. I think I need like some more perennials in this area. This is all coleus, which is an annual in my area. So this whole coleus area is doing exactly what I wanted it to do. It is covering as much ground as possible and suppressing all the weeds underneath, which is glorious. I love it. The limelights are beautiful. They're gonna have probably no less than 100 blooms this year, which that space will just be stunning. I do expect now that this crepe myrtle is trimmed back that we might get more growth that direction from the limelight hydrangeas. Some of you guys were asking about mums. My mums are coming up. They just haven't bloomed. Everything seems late this year, so I don't have blooms on these right now. Or I do have buds, but no blooms yet. Typically, they already would have been blooming, and I would have already trimmed them back. So, but I'll keep you guys updated on that. I am a big proponent of mums in my garden. And there's one right there. There's a couple more tucked over there. There's another one, a bunch in there. There's some more tucked back in there. I love mums. I love them because they're a great perennial with great color, and they don't have to be just for fall. They can be utilized year round. Their leaf structure is beautiful, and then after they give you a bloom cycle, you can cut them back and they will come back and give you another round. So sometimes I get up to 3 bloom cycles in 1 year. All right, let me move back here so you can see this portion of the garden, which is really just kicking butt this year. I'm really happy with it. So my dianthus is fading right here, so it needs a hard trim all the way across, and I really need to spend some time digging up grass. I have a lot of grass coming up in this portion of the garden, and if you have Bermuda in your yard, you understand It is very prolific, and so I need to spend some time just actually digging it up. When I dig it up, basically what I'll do is I'll wet down the whole area so that the ground's a little bit softer, and then I'll hand dig all of it up. But you can see the Super Tunia bubblegum is going bonkers, which I love. It's super fun. And you can see my recent project of tucking in some of the yellow gaillardia just to add a little more punch of color is looking great. I have the Luminary series of phlox from Proven Winners. It's doing great right there. This one's already bloomed. This one over here to the right has lots of spaces for blooms. It hasn't gotten there yet. Here's the meant to be nectarine, meant to be nectarine queen bee, agastache. There we go. Agastache is doing really, really well. It really likes its location. Really happy with how that's looking. Over here, I do have an additional hydrangea tucked in here. It's smaller scale hydrangea. Let me see if I can get the variety in here. Let me step in here. The variety is Little Quickfire. And so I think that'll be really pretty right there. The big burst of like pink tones. You can see all of the liatris coming up right here. And it is getting ready to bloom. As you can see right there. Super pretty. Those are all bulbs and they multiply every year. So I really, really like them for cut flower arrangements. They're very interesting, very different, which is cool. Here's the Alberta spruce that I had been treating for spider mites. And I am getting a lot more green coming back. However, the whole inside portion is dead and it won't revive itself. That's just the nature of an evergreen. But hopefully the new green will start to cover itself. I think it's worth keeping at this point. But I'll be keeping an eye on it and continue treating it throughout the season. I'm using Captain Jack's super insecticidal soap. Insecticidal super soap? Yeah, that's what it's called. That whole area is looking really, really good. Over here, the Super Tunias are going, of course, just crazy bonkers. Looks so pretty. Love to look at it. Over here, white coneflower is going just absolutely stunning. I want to harvest some of these seeds and see if I can start some more of these because I really, really like the white coneflower. Let me give you a view of the garden, front garden. It's the end of the day. It's about 8:15. We still have a lot of light out here. This is the best time of the day to film just because it's bearable. The heat is bearable. It finally gets out of the 90s at this time of the day. Yeah, I'm really happy with the progress of the garden. Changed a lot of things, learning a lot of stuff, but it's amazing how much this has already changed in the last 4 weeks since my May tour. Okay, I hope you guys enjoyed today's tour, garden tour, June garden tour. Everything's looking really nice. I am fearful of July and August coming. With the heat, a lot of stuff goes out of bloom and starts to struggle, and so it'll be interesting to see what the structure of the garden looks like when it gets really, really hot. I feel like this year I'm doing a better job documenting it with film, doing these garden tours than I have in the past few years. And I think that's important because it gives me a better idea of what to expect, my expectations during the summer. So if you're not recording or videotaping your garden for future reference, you should do so. Because if you're like me, I don't remember. And I have a hard time remembering things like, hey, how did this do last season? Why is it seen behind? Is it usually blooming now? And then if I can go back and reference and be like, no, this is when it typically blooms. You're crazy. And this is the right time. But yeah, recording and, just documenting your garden over time really, really helps to continue to become a better gardener and to have a better understanding of what works in your area and what doesn't. All right, thank you all so much today. And as always, she's a mad gardener or decorator or anything else that she wants to be. Thanks, y'all.